And welcome back to Open Studio. I'm Steve Leahy. What dramatic intro for the premiere. If you are watching the premiere, you just watched the intro. People have asked me if I've done that, if I made that, and that is a YouTube thing, which is pretty cool. If you're watching this after the fact, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's that. YouTube has, when we watch it for a premiere, they have this intro that starts before the actual video, and then they take that intro off later when you rewatch it, so you guys don't get to see the intro. But if you want to see the intro, come by on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. and you can watch that fantastic thing too. All right, where was I? Where the heck was I? All right, that's that. That's that. I made that one too low. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. Happy Wednesday. What is going on? I did not change the wet palette sheet. I should, but I didn't. Maybe I'll do it for the next one, but knowing me, maybe not. Oh, well. All right, so I thought that should be a little bit higher. It should be up here. What am I going to do with that? Oh, no, that's right. I did do that right. I was looking at this little white thing in the distance between this little rectangle that pops off the back of the building, and I'm like, oh, those are too far apart, but they're not, because I cut out the roof of this building, but I didn't cut out the base of this building. So yay. So now that it is in the right spot. This white is not working very well. So we're going to get what we can out of it. And again, this calls to the hallmark of this style of painting, which is, you end up fixing it more than painting it, which is fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. And a huge thank you to you guys and girls that are commenting and posting on that community page post. Oh, that's a big lump of grub. There we go. That's wonderful. That really, helps things grow here, and I totally appreciate that. So there was a chunk of dried white paint there. See it? Yeah, I think you can. I'm just going to pull that off. I don't want that on there. So what I did was I let it dry a little bit, and then it just flakes off. If I tried to move it while it was still a wet lump of paint, it would have just dragged all over the place. So, all right, so that didn't come out very well, but we can fix that. Speaking of the community post, I do have a soapbox for tonight because of you guys, and that's amazing. I love it. We're going to... I'm going through puberty apparently too. We're going to go just kind of keep working on this little section right here. Build that up. I think I may kind of grab as much of that as I can, and then we'll just keep moving across. The next great soapbox comment comes from Atomic Warlord 1976. So Brian asks, how did you transition into small painting, and do you think it's something everyone can do, or is it a style people are innate to? Or talk about how to find your own style, or finding the artist within. And that's a great soapbox. Your style comes from your sensibility. And I know that sounds like it's overly simplified, but it really is. And I struggled with this a lot in the beginning. Like I would look at, what am I doing with white? I was looking at all these different artists that I was totally inspired by, and I'm like, where do I fit in? Everything I do feels like it's derivative, or it's, the things I really love from other artists, mine don't look like that. And the revelation came in that I was so tuned into making my stuff look like all these people's paintings that I really loved, that I didn't realize that my style was the reason why my stuff didn't look like everyone else's. And that was a revelation. Like I went from being like, oh, I'm just not there yet, meaning, and I don't mean to sound like I'm like, oh, I'm there. No, it wasn't like that. It was more like, I'm struggling to make my stuff as good as all this other stuff that I see, But really what I needed to do was just kind of do what I felt was important to me, or what type of art that I really wanted to do. And then the fact that my stuff didn't look like theirs what turned out to be my style, and it's a weird thing, because I don't know, we never look at our stuff as there, it's like we're always, I mean, we're our toughest critics, when it comes to our own stuff, and we're super hard on ourselves. At least I am, and most people I know are. So what I was beating myself up for, me not fitting in, was exactly the thing that I was looking for the whole time. It was like, oh, my stuff looks like this because it came from me, and that was a pretty huge revelation from me, that I didn't want my stuff, or I shouldn't be looking to have my stuff look like this other person, this other artist. It should look like my stuff. So finding that artist within is really just paint, or do your creativity, whatever that creativity is. Do your art, and your style will self-emerge. That's just the way it is, because no two people are the same. No matter, even if they're doing the same style of art, they are not the same, and that shows in the work. So you don't have to worry about it. So that's my advice to everyone who is searching for a style. Don't search for it. It'll come to you. It'll come to you because of your own sensibilities and what you feel looks good, and what you feel, when your art quality-wise is where it needs to be. That's what's going to build your style, and it does it on its own. You don't have to try. The people that search it out and force into something, it leads to just a pile of misery. Because say you do strike on something that you push yourself into, or you copy someone to the point of just mimicking them, and then it takes off, and now what do? Like, now you can't get into your style because you're pigeonholed into this other thing that you thought was going to be good, and that sucks. But if you're always true to what you're doing, and what's important to you, that's how you build it up. The other way you really get your style is by learning from other people. You take a little bit of everyone you really respect, and you kind of mush it all together, and that's your style. And again, no two people are going to have the same list of influences, so that everything's going to be a little bit different. And we're a bunch of community-based apes. We thrive off of the interaction of others. So there is no one who's like operating outside of our humanity. And if they are, you don't know about them. You know what I mean? So just take it all in, So that's what I get to say about that. As far as me and the miniature stuff, and again, this is how this came about. It wasn't that I was like, I got to find the new thing, this is something I got to figure out and then master or whatever. It wasn't like that. It came down to some stupid thing that someone said once, and it just kind of spiraled into all of this. So, we all know the airbrush is a tool that sprays paint, and whenever you spray anything, it generally has a soft feel to it. Spray guns or spray cans or whatever, even airbrushes. And when I was learning, or not when I was learning, but after I really kind of started to get a handle on things, I love when people say, "Oh, you can't do that with that," because as soon as someone says that, I'm going to try it. So that's exactly what happened. It was the idea was, you can't spray super small with an airbrush, because it's you can't spray that small basically. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, well, let's see what we can do, and that led to painting razor blades, and I just loved the challenge. What I had no idea about how it was going to affect me was people's reactions to that type of painting. And it's fine online, but in real life, when someone sees something that's super microscopic, yet yet when you stand back, you can still read it. It's still a good painting. Just the personal interaction that people have with the work, that miniature stuff that's really well executed. That was something I wasn't prepared for, and something I truly, truly love. Like, I love being in a live situation where people can actually look at the work, especially when I can, like, then after they've appreciated it for a bit, I can go in and, say, hey, this is what's going on with that. Or if they have questions about it, that's really the thing I really, really love about this whole thing. And it has a wonderful kind of, it's always the same kind of reactions that people have, which is great. So that's good. So as far as, your style, that's what I got to say about that. You need to just do your work, and your style will self-emerge. And I know that sounds like a crock, it's especially if you're trying to find where you fit in, but trust me on this, it'll come up by itself. The worst thing that can happen to you is that people keep saying, oh, hey, yeah, I know another artist and you remind me of him or her. You know what I mean? To have your art always seem derivative of someone else's. That's the worst. It just means that you're leaning too hard on another artist as far as an influence. And the way to combat that, again, is to start looking everywhere. Find things that interest you from all different types of artists. Not even in your, like, if you're into airbrush, people who do airbrush art, custom painting or whatever, look to fine art. One of my best friends, Keith Hansen, is one of the greatest motorcycle automotive painters that's out there. Pinstriper, killer, just great, crazy artist. And he gets a lot of his inspiration from the fashion industry. He's really dressed well all the time, and that's a passion of his. And that sense, that high-end clothing arena plays into his artwork, and not like, he's not painting buttons on his motorcycles, but the sensibility that comes with that, which is totally separate from the motorcycle world, but yet he takes it and puts it in his own way, and now that's become his style. And it's just because he's looking at all these different influences and melding them together in his brain. So that's what I got to say about that. Don't worry about it. Just work and let it happen. That's the way to go. All right. There's a big block of stuff up here. Buildings. Well, actually, it's not really that crazy. I could probably pull it off. What's this? Oh, that is that part of that. Okay. Yeah, there's a white building right here, which I'm going to have to cut out. But let's see if we can knock out. Oh no, I should probably get this stuff down here first. Okay. I know this is me, squirreling about. Okay. Yeah, the small stuff, in the same kind of thing. It started off as just like kind of a, fun little challengey type thing. And I found things in it that really excited me. That really kept the whole thing going for me. A lot of it is the challenge, it makes me happy at the end of it to know that, I've hopefully created a good painting, and it's something that people have a hard time wrapping their head around. And I love that. It's just, that's one more bonus for me doing this and keeping me doing this. So, and, that happens with all kinds of things, and no matter what style of art you do, you're going to find those things that keep you coming back to it over and over again. If you're lucky, like I said, it takes work, and it's not something like I make it sound easy, like, oh, just, find your passion. But I know it's a lifelong kind of endeavor, really. And then, I'm fortunate for my own brain, that I've kind of latched onto this and I really enjoy it, and I don't see myself, bouncing around to different things. Like I like to do other things like, scale modeling and stuff like that. But, I don't find myself, oh, today I'm going to, do abstract expressionism, and tomorrow I'm going to do, I don't know, whatever, cubism or whatever. I find that I don't have the urge to really change up all the time. And like I said, I know some artists need the change too. I'm not saying become sedentary and just hold on to one thing, but for me, I really, I really enjoy what I'm doing, and I could see myself doing this style of art for all of my career, and that's great. That's fine for me. Again, it boils down to the same thing. You're you, your journey is yours, and you kind of have to tune out the noise. It's really what's going on with that. Now, I know that's also tough if you want to make a living at it, if you want to sell the stuff. You see all these people painting these things which are, apparently or, outwardly trendy at the time or when you're working, and you want to jump on that if you're selling because you want to, be part of that. And I get that, and it's something. It's the kind of the devil of the whole thing, but yeah, don't expect to find your style in doing that. You may, I'm sure it's happened, but as long as you're chasing something like that, the motivation is different there. Your motivation is to sell artwork then, and it's not necessarily to create art that's you. And again, I feel that's a trap, but for someone else, and I'm sure there are people out there where art is literally a job for them. They're talented at it, they do it, they make a good living at it, but it's not their passion. They do it as a job, and then they go and whatever, do whatever they love to do when they're not working. Like most people have jobs. They get off work and they don't want to think about work. So I'm sure there are people who do art that are the same way. I don't know any of them because it does seem like a rarity. People who seem to be creative also tend to really love what they do. To me, anyway, that's what it seems like. But I'm sure, there are people who are out there who just do it to do it. But again, if that's you, you're probably not looking for, your style. You're just kind of punching the clock, which is, again, I can't say it enough. That's fine. That's great. We all have our thing. So that's a good soapbox. Thank you, Brian. So yeah, if you guys have soapbox topics, please put them down. I'm filming a bunch of these episodes in a row, so next week there won't be a soapbox topic that was put in by you guys. So keep them coming. I'm loving them. I'll just come up with something on my own, and then if you guys think of something, please put it in. That would be most cool, because I'd really rather, mouth off about what you guys want to hear than what's rolling around my brain. So, all right, what's above this red building? There's just a bunch of weird stuff. So this is the edge of that building, right? I gotta figure this out. This black line here is, I think, well, yeah, I could dig up the copy, try to find the copy, but no, I think I can figure this out from here. Yeah, that's the edge of the next building, except for that little bump out. That shouldn't be there. I know what I was thinking when I cut it out, but I think I just cut it out wrong. Which is why it was confusing me. So I'm going to erase this little bump out here. And the way I erase it is, don't forget there's Autoborn sealer on here. So I could use an eraser, but the knife is much more precise. Wow, this is on there. Wow, it's really on there. Maybe I won't do that. Huh. It's almost like that black stained down into the paint, which is pretty amazing. I mixed up that background color. So I'm just going to use gray because I don't think I have that color anymore. I have to fix it because I went all the way down. So we're just going to kind of knock it out for now. This is going to be a white, you know, that white building that's sitting right there. So I'm going to paint it again. I'm just taking the curse off that repair a little bit. Here we go. All right. I feel like I should work in reverse, but so that's the roof on that little tower. So let's start with that. That makes sense. And again, when I get lost like this, I just try to pick out one thing. So I know this is the roof of that tall, darker building, thin black building that's right here. So I'm going to start with that. Looks like it's in the wrong spot too. Looks like there should be a little bit more of a gap there, but I can adjust. All right, so there's the edge of that white building that we don't have in yet, the bigger one, which will probably be in the next episode maybe. What time is it? We still have 9 minutes, so we got plenty of time. So this is the front of this tall building. And I'm going to put it in. Good. And then there's like dark gray. Something or other going on there. The side of it. Yeah, it's a bunch of... It's too dark. Yeah, that this paint has had it. Good, that's better. Have you guys been enjoying the ads for these? If you're following me on other social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook, I have I usually have a kind of a Where's Waldo type post for these, where you have to kind of find the painting in the ad. Some of them been easy, like a couple of weeks ago with the Kobe beef. It was pretty much right in your face. But the Godzilla one before that was really tough. I kind of made it look like the painting was one of the buildings in the background, and it was really difficult to see. There was also a Buddha ad from a while ago that the painting was really, really small. It was one of the signs that were posted near the Buddha. So I've been having a lot of fun with them. I'm running out of Tokyo ideas, though. Each one has something to do with Tokyo or Japan in general. But I'm running out of ideas. So I don't know what I'm going to do when I do run out of ideas for real, but come up with something. Yeah, so if you want to, give me ideas for ads too, that would be great. So we'll lean on you guys for everything. The sumo wrestler one was one of my favorites. And I'm surprised. Like there were some people that thought those ads were the painting. Like I had a one of them was I'm assuming it was kind of the Times Square of Tokyo. A bunch of neon signs. Looks like a really popular place, stores and billboards and all that. Like I said, it looked like Times Square. And I put the painting in as one of the billboards, which I thought was pretty clever. However, people were like, oh, I see that new painting you're working on and it looks good, it looks real. And I'm like, that's not the painting, that's Tokyo for real. It was an ad. So, I mean, in a way, I'm super honored that people thought the actual photograph was the painting. That says a lot, but yeah. Oh, this is working out. Again, this is nice when I get to a certain point and I'm like, oh, then if I'm right, this other building should be right there. And it is. I like that. Especially in an area like this where it's like totally like tiny, tiny things going on. Can't even see them. Yeah, those are those two little things. There's that thing above it. Yeah, 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 yeah. I like it. How are we doing? About 5 minutes left. We're doing great. Yep. Yeah, I really do get lost in these two. You know, it's so easy. So easy to do. You know, you just, I mean, this painting is the first one, like the first major landscape painting that I've done as far as Open Studio. But normally I'm just kind of zoning out with these when I'm working on them just by myself and I don't have to talk and, you know, do whatever. Um, you just kind of zone out. You know, I just end up like just chilling out and just kind of moving from one building to another. And it's just a really nice experience. It's just kind of, it's definitely relaxing. You know, it's people, you know, say, how do you do it? How do you stay focused? And it's like anything. If anything repetitive that you do to relax, like some people knit or, you know, some people do crosswords or just read in general. When you're doing something repetitive over and over again, it's just kind of like you can relax, you know. Yes, I'm wrestling with this thing. I'm fighting with it, but it's not an aggravating fight. You know what I mean? I know what I'm doing as far as, you know, when I screw it up, how to fix it and that kind of stuff. So it is a little bit aggravating, but it's not like certainly not aggravating to the point of, you know, not being relaxing. So, so that's, you know, I really do. I get lost in these things so easily, and that's a great thing for me. You know, it's just, it's great. And then, you know, it's different. Like I'll have a piece that has a lot more of what I'm doing right now, a lot more just freehand airbrushing stuff where you know, it's not super, you know, tight and controlled. And, you know, when I get to those paintings, like a lot of the turkey painting that I was working on is like that. It's just kind of airbrushing. I'm working on a big painting of a couple dollar bills. And that's the same thing. It's bigger. It's a bigger painting. So I just get to kind of, you know, just kind of work differently, you know, and that's relaxing. It's fun. I like it. All right, where are we at? We finished that whole section. I kind of grayed that out, but I'm going to be working on, you know, where I fogged it right there. I'm going to be working on that as we go. We're down to the street here, which is a bunch of other buildings. So I think what I may do is next week we'll do the two buildings that are sitting here and here, which is that white one. And oh, can you see it? There we go. Yeah, there's a kind of a whitish building here, and then a reddish colored building here, and another building, or actually there a group of them along this roadway. Because once I get the bigger buildings done, actually, can I show you on the? Yeah, let me show you on this right here. All right. So again, this is cool because you're seeing the resolution limitations of the printer. This is a section we just did right here. So we backed up all the way to this grayish building right here. This is the red one, and then there's a whole group of these similar size buildings right along this road. But along the front of this are all these little tiny buildings. So what I think we'll do to make it easier figuring out these smaller buildings is do the bigger buildings first, and then do all these. And then that will get us halfway across the painting to the riverbank, which is pretty exciting. So this is what the whole thing looks like all together now. And you can see that, you know, that little section we just did in the middle there just kind of, you know, all tucks together now next to that little gray building. And that's what we're looking for. All right, you know what to do. Help me out. Hit that like and subscribe and leave me a comment and tell me what to do. I like that. And if you want to throw in a soapbox comment, just go to the community page and add a soapbox topic for me. I'd really appreciate that. And nothing's off the table there, so I'll let her rip. All right, if you want to help us out financially, you can certainly do that by becoming a member here. That gets you a 10% discount on my store at stephenleahy.com. And you also get early access to the time-lapse video, which normally comes out on Tuesday. You get that as soon as I'm done with it, which is kind of fun. All right, there we go. All right, so for Steve Leahy and Through Lachlan's Eyes, I will catch you guys all next week. Thanks for showing up. I love you guys. Bye.